We have a few super chats to get to, and those of you who are watching live can always send a super chat to jump to the front of the line, and we thank you guys, all of you, for sticking around. 12:30 a.m. on a Monday night. Let's go to Andy, who sends 100 rupees. Thank you, Andy, for all the support. He says, if you had to wager, what is Rock's Mania role and how does it affect Cody? What would you prefer as fans? Cody's story is more narratively fulfilling.
Maybe it is because we haven't. The Rock has not shot an angle yet. We don't have anything to compare it to. I mean, in theory, there's an amazing story there with The Rock and Roman Reigns. So I don't think you can just dismiss it as one has a story and one doesn't. You have to look at the value of like The Rock wrestling. That's a difference maker for WrestleMania. It will look at what the impact was on Friday. And if you can get X amount of appearances and it builds up to a huge WrestleMania, and the key being what you have coming out of that, there's a very strong argument for that. I know everyone is going to throw to the 2 nights. I really hate that idea of 2 nights, and I would just feel both. You would water them down by trying to promote.
It's also such a risk, John. Like if Roman gets hurt or in one of those matches, then what do you do the second?
It's not even that. It's even like, what did we learn from All In and All Out? It's like you can't promote 2 things effectively at the same time, and if you're doing that, one is going to feel secondary to the other. And I think long term, that would be more detrimental that Cody feels number 2 instead of number 1.
So they have done it in the past. Like for WrestleMania 10, they've done it for the 30, like where they've had to essentially promote like 2 matches involving the same participants for the same event. And it's been met with like mild success, but I also don't think it's the right move for this year. I think if The Rock is available, you do The Rock versus Roman Reigns. There is already a story there. In fact, like even before Cody, I think, caught fire after the Rumble last year, I think all of us were clamoring for The Rock versus Roman Reigns. And then it maybe got replaced by Sami Zayn, but we didn't really want Cody. It wasn't until they told that great story and got hot for WrestleMania that we all wanted the Cody match, right? And if they put that same amount of effort, and they could easily just with minimal effort be able to tell the bloodline story of The Rock reclaiming his role as the tribal chief. Easy, done. And Cody, unfortunately, will probably have to face somebody else. I think there's great opportunity for him to, face a Gunther. There's a certain free agent that might be available in 2 months that I think might also make for a satisfying dream match that could headline that first night.
Tyrus?
He's retiring, I believe. So there's always all those possibilities, but it'll have to be a pretty big match. I also think finishing the story, listen, like they might just extend this thing for another year and have Roman keep the belt for another year. It seems so unfathomable, but I would say
it doesn't.
Now it doesn't feel unfathomable, but like I would have thought Roman keeping the belt for this year would have been unfathomable. So him holding for another year, as long as he stays healthy, I don't think is out of the question at all.
I think you also, if you are getting to Roman and Cody, that's your destination. I do think you somewhat have to change the roadmap on top of it in that you just go back to the same playbook, that Cody wins the Rumble and it's just the same. Like I think you need to put some changes in the destination in terms of just how you get there for Cody on top of it. And I wouldn't even throw out that the notion. I think there'll be plenty of people after what they did last year that you will have a compelling belief that Roman could retain the title again and you extend it. So
yeah, especially if it's against Dwayne.
I don't think they're in a bad position. Obviously, they're not.
It's an embarrassment of riches. They can't.
And the fact is, like, The Rock will take precedence, and if he is willing to do it, he's doing it, and he's got the match. So,
thank you very much, Andy, for that question. Let's go up next to Timu, who sends €10. Thank you, Timu. He says,